Okay, so the next area you want to focus on, which is your most valuable real estate, is this middle area. This is the area where if you're taking two people or possibly a third person, you really want to get right. For one, you can bring a lot of the weight forward. You've got great access from both doors. You can use the roof space to store jackets, as we spoke about, lightweight stuff. You've got a really nice camera box, place for water and travel flasks. And then I've also raised the floor up so you can use storage underneath this. And I like to take the camera gear, put it on top here when you're in a game reserve, so you can lean back and reach into the camera bag instead of having cameras balancing on your lap and balancing on the dash, which is never great. We're always frustrated with that. So the third seat here isn't always fitted to every car. Some people like it because it's an option to take a guide, pick up someone. I try and avoid that. I mean, I think your car should be built for the two of you, and I try and discourage people building it with, a whole back seat that you're not going to use. It's too valuable space. You can often build a vehicle where you need to have a compromise because the vehicle's being used like daily, and you'll keep the back seat in, and then you'll design a frame and build it that you can literally bolt the seat out with 4 or 6 bolts and bolt the frame in. And that works really well, because the times you're going to go away with, let's say, the family, the seat stays in. The time the two of you are going to go away, just the two of you, you bolt the frame back in, you can put an extra fridge in, your camera box goes in. So it is really about how you want to set your vehicle up. Not every vehicle can be a dedicated overland vehicle. Quite often a vehicle's got to be flexible in how it's going to be used. They're expensive to have a vehicle set up sitting at home just to go away a few times a year. We try and utilize a load guard, and then we have a place where we can put electrics. So electrics need to be in a place where you can go to one area, and they're behind the seat here, and you can go to this area and you actually can look at all your electrics. You can get to the fuse boxes, you can have a look at all the components are actually working properly. You've got access to it. Lots of ways of doing it. But again, the main focus is, can you have all of that in one place? So this is your auxiliary system. The auxiliary system is completely separate from the main battery. It means that you can always get in your car and start it. You should never be stuck to start your car when you're running a battery flat. If a battery runs flat because your fridge was on, it must be your auxiliary battery. If you start the car, you always have an ability to recharge that battery through your alternator, or through solar, or through, and should be through, shore power with a external 220 volt charger. So having electrics here, which is going to allow us to do two things. The systems we build into the cars, I like to have a shore power input like you'd have a caravan, which means we can plug 220 volts into the car. It will give me access to 220 volts if you put a strip plug in. It'll run the fridge, and it will power a charger which is charging the auxiliary battery. So that means if you get to a lodge somewhere, park up for the night, you can literally plug into the mains, and you're going to have your fridge kept running, your battery fully charged, and certainly you're going to have any other options you want to run off mains power, not using your inverter. So you're allowing the auxiliary battery to get really full. It's like topping up a water tank. You want to keep it brimmed so the next morning you've got a full tank or a full battery.
And in terms of managing your fridge battery usage?
So it depends how you use your fridge. So I like to use a fridge in a combination with a cool bag, because you can never get everything in the fridge. Most fridges will have a freezer compartment and a fridge compartment. Some people just want a fridge where they're using it as a fridge or a freezer. Some people take more than one fridge. They'll have one dedicated freezer, one dedicated fridge. So it just depends on how you're going to travel. There isn't a right and wrong. What you can do at night when it cools down, you can turn the fridge off, turn it down. It's not going to cycle as much, it's going to draw less power off the battery. It's all about managing resources. You're managing how much water you carry in the car. It doesn't mean to say because you've got a car with two people you should put a 200-litre water tank in just because you can. You don't want to do that. You don't want to carry all that extra weight. You want to manage the resource that you have more efficiently. Put a purifier in, you can always get water somewhere. Very few places you can't get water. Fuel, on the other hand, there are going to be certain trips you do where you need to carry extra fuel. So decide, how often are you going to do those sort of trips? Do you need to put the big tank in? Or could you just utilize your tank with a few jerry cans that are going to be empty for 80% of your time that you travel? So coming back to this area here, this can really make a lot of valuable space because you can access it. Quite often we can put boxes here which are spares, repairs, recovery, tools, strapped down, tied down, and it does give you the knowledge that you're bringing weight further forward into the car. You've got lights, well there's a light above the fridge, there's a fire striker.
Lots of storage, yeah. You could really put a good couple of jackets in winter and whatnot there.
Yeah, and you've got storage on the back load board here as well. So I like to put a load guard in. It doesn't have to be wooden carpeted. The wooden carpeted just gives a nice feel to the car, takes a bit of sound deadening out. It separates the back rear from the middle area. So clearly you can look at how you structure your little home, as we can call it. So, you know, this area is great. You can put pockets on here, you can fix stuff to it. It's another very valuable place to do stuff.
Absolutely.